It's been good. First 3 days, guys have put in some solid work. The biggest thing that we want to accomplish, first and foremost, we have to grow together as an offensive unit. On top of that, we're still in an evaluation process. So we're going to continue turning over our rosters to see who can bring what to the table. And then on top of that, now we got to grow and mature with the offense. The thing I am proud of, guys are learning that, hey, if we don't work, we don't eat, which means we're working hard, which is some good stuff, which means we're giving ourselves a chance, all right, to move in the right direction. So with that said, fellas, any questions you got, shoot them.
How would you say the offense is at this point versus where you expected it to be?
You know what? I expect it to be right where it is right now because we're still in that growing stage. I thought by the time we finished spring, I thought we finished on a high note. But these guys did a great job this summer. They had some player-led meetings, and Ethan and the players ran some installs, and the guys got an opportunity to go out there. So they had an opportunity to repeat what we did in the spring. So now it's a lot more familiarity. So guys are going out and playing a little faster, playing with more confidence. So it's been fun to watch so far.
Where would you say you are in the install process?
I'll say this, and I'm not trying to be an asshole, but right where we need to be. Okay. We're just taking the process slow because, like I said, it's still an evaluation process. We got some old linemen that we want to develop. We got some quarterbacks that we need to see. We got some running backs that are new to the program that we're working on. We got some receivers working on some things, some tight ends. So when it's all said and done, we're right where we need to be. But I will say this, have there been improvement? Yes, okay? But we need to not just improve individually, we got to improve collectively as a group.
Center is obviously such an important position for an offense. Josh Carlin making the permanent switch over to center for fall camp. What have you seen out of him, his development, and his understanding of the offense, mastery of it?
I'll say this, Josh is very sharp. First of all, he's been here for a while. He has that leadership presence about him. And the thing I love about him, he's this is going to probably sound bad, I won't use the language, but he's a competitor. You know what I mean? He's a competitor. I love it. You know what I mean? And he has that fight in him. So he does not take anything for granted. On top of that, I love the accountability aspect that he has as well. So it's great when you can have that leadership role, but on top of that, have a smart, intelligent, tough center. It makes everything a lot easier when you put the offense together.
And then what are you seeing out of Ruben and Alani at the other two new spots on the offense?
You know what? They're working, and I don't want to start pointing out guys because I'm an O-line fan. So when those 5 guys are in there, we're one unit, you know, because those guys got to communicate more than any other group. And they do a great job every day of over-communicating, and then on top of that, making sure that if they made a mistake, they're holding each other accountable for it. But I like where we are right now. We still got a long ways to go. We're not perfect, all right? We're taking the necessary steps in the right direction, so it's been an improvement.
The last time we spoke to you, it was so early in spring camp. You really hadn't been able to familiarize yourself with, everyone. And you mentioned consistent practice habits was something you wanted to see on tape.
Mm-hmm.
Who specifically maybe has really shown you something in the last couple of months that kind of stood out in that regard?
You know what? I'll say this. Collectively as a group, it's been good watching the growth process because, like I said, there's things that we're understanding in the run game and things that we're understanding in the pass game. So we're growing. We're taking the baby steps forward. Now it's about going out there and executing it on a consistent level with great attention to detail when somebody else is in front of you. All right? And so now we just got to learn how to put that consistent behavior on tape. And I talk to these guys every single day. You got to have a plan when you come into this building. Every day there got to be 3 things that we have to work on individually. All right? But you got to make sure that you focus on those things because if we're working on those 3 little aspects, whatever they are, now that's going to help us to grow collectively as a group. So we're still in that process of understanding that, but we're learning the discipline habits that need to be developed.
You brought in a lot of new quarterbacks for fall camp. We know what Ethan, Justin Martin, and Chase Griffin can do, but what about some of these new guys?
You know what? They're rookies. And they're freshmen for a reason. But I will say this, they're a fun bunch. They're a fun group, they're very intelligent, and they work at it. Some of it's not gonna make any sense to them, and that's okay, and I understand that. But the beauty of it is I've watched each and every one of them take a necessary step forward. Now, is it a small, minute step? Yes, okay? Because it's a lot to chew on, because when you're playing that position, all right, regardless of what level you're on, with that position comes a great deal of responsibility. So they're coming into their own. Now, some guys are mature faster than others, but do we have talent? Yeah, we got some talent, but they just need to continue to work and continue learning all the little things that it's going to take for them to be a successful player.
You've talked about tight end being kind of a critical position for your offense. Numbers got pretty thin in spring. Added Bryce Pierre. What have you seen out of him? And then do you have the numbers you want to do everything you want to do offensively, or are you going to have to kind of adjust to what you have?
So, first of all, you hate to say this, and I'm not going to wood. Injuries happen,
Woods.
right? And you never want injuries. And so we always have to remain flexible. So that's the beauty of having the personnel groups. Yes, the tight ends are working their tails off. Jerry's doing a hell of a job with those guys. And they're a smart, intelligent group of men. And so all of those guys, they take personal pride in working. And like I said, the thing I've learned since I've coordinated, tight ends are very, very smart. That's probably why Mercedes is still playing. But they do a great job together, and I'm proud of them. But also, too, it's still a process of learning. When it's all said and done, we're just slowly churning these groups and making sure that regardless of what personnel groups that we're playing with, we're putting them in the right situations to have some success. And so that's what it's about right now.
How crazy is it that Mercedes is still playing when he was here when you were last here?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, first of all, kudos to Mercedes. He is the ultimate professional, and he's learned his niche. You know what I mean? Not only is he an outstanding player, okay, he's also an outstanding leader, and he's also an outstanding human being. Absolutely got a lot of love for him. I'm very proud of him. He outlasted Slater, which I didn't think he would do, you know, but he did. And Slater may come out of retirement before it's all said and done with just to compete with him. But those two guys are just outstanding human beings, but more importantly, outstanding representation of UCLA football at the next level.
Fullback wise, we saw a lot of Anthony Atkins in the spring before he got hurt. Where is that position right now, and who else is kind of in the mix to contribute?
We added a few pieces, so now we're 3D. So we got some few pieces, and these guys, Marcus is doing a great job with those guys of just intertwining and getting them mixed in. And so if you notice, kind of address all of our personnel groups, because yes, we're going to play with some two-back. Yes, we may play with multiple tight ends. Yes, we may play with multiple receivers. But when it's all said and done, we got to make sure that we're growing in the offense. So now we can intermix and intermingle the personnel group. And so now we're presenting a different look each and every week, and that can cause confusion for teams moving forward. But those guys are working hard. They're doing a hell of a job.
The last time I spoke to Ethan, he mentioned, compared to last year, he feels like there's more freedom as a quarterback in this offense of yours, especially at the line of scrimmage. What's that collaboration like as far as, finding, I guess, a comfort zone with each other?
Well, just like I said, playing that position at any level, first of all, with that comes a great deal of responsibility. And one thing that you learn when you're in this position, yes, you don't want to handcuff those guys. You want to give them freedom if you feel like they can handle it. But with that comes a great deal of responsibility. But my job is to make sure, all right, not just me, but our entire coaching staff, that we're giving our guys answers. I don't want to handcuff us, okay? So Ethan's right now, he seems to be at a stage where he can handle that. And we'll give him the keys, every now and then we may take him away. But at the end of the day, he's doing a good job right now of handling that. And we just got to continue to grow with it, because when it's all said and done with, if he can handle it, now it just helps us even more to become, better offensively.
What's your confidence level that he can do what you need to be a good Big Ten offense?
Well, right now we're in the early stages. I know we're in the honeymoon phase because everybody wants to know what we're doing. We're undefeated. We're 0-0. You know what I mean? So we got an outstanding record right now. But my expectations of him right now is just to manage the day, okay? And I don't want to look past anything, because I don't want to take anything for granted, because there's a lot to learn on a day-to-day basis that can help us to grow and prepare us, all right, for those game-defining moments that's going to present themselves throughout the season.
What have your thoughts been on J. Michael's tournament and what he can bring to this offense?
You know, J. Mike and all those guys are doing a heck of a job. And just like I've kind of elaborated on all those different personnel groups, those guys, I mean, we have talent. But independent talent don't mean anything. We have to grow collectively together. As a unit, I think that group has some very, very good talent in that room. But now we just got to make sure that we can put the consistent behavior on tape that can help us to grow as a unit. And that's what this is all about.
Are you staying up in Woodland Hills with the rest of the guys?
Nah, I'm lower, probably here more than anything. So, but I know it's been a great experience for those guys. I mean, they get to grow together, forces them to sit and talk and communicate. You know, I think we all wish we probably could have went somewhere, but I mean, why not put them in a situation where you can eliminate the distractions and allow them to just hang out with each other. You know, so I think that's a great thing, and you know, I'm just looking forward to the next day. Yeah.
All right, thank you so
Thank you,
much.
guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.